Modern Masters 2017 came out with a sort of a level of hive mind hysteria that you might associate with a terror attack or a new Busted album. You know, you want to just see what it's all about. And, you know, really buying a box of Modern Masters is, I think it's an opportunity to really look at what you're doing with your life, you know. And opening these packs and sort of barely looking at any of the cards, occasionally waving one at the camera or a phone or something, you know, really exposed me to the reality that I'm an overweight, nearly middle-aged nerd. And this myth that nerding has somehow become fashionable and powerful, you know, this falsehood that really perpetrated by Will Wheaton and his string of foxy ladies who pretend to like board games and Star Wars and, you know, whatever. And it really adds up to this idea that what previously for me were hobbies and interests and things I would do in the time between doing real stuff, that this can be a lifestyle, something you can live by, you know. And of course, this creates a kind of hierarchy and a sense of your place in that nerd structure, you know. And so these are the tools, these things here, these cards are the symbols of your commitment to that lifestyle, you know. Buying this densely populated box of things that you can do inside a game it's representative of how much of a nerd you are on some level, and that, of course, never used to matter. But now it's as though it connects you to this pantheon. Of course, this isn't something I regret. I mean, it's not like we aren't going to feed the dog this month or anything, but what it is, it's thrilling to me to explore this aspect of my own flawedness, you know, and try to really get to grips with, you know, what's happening, this adrenaline or endorphins associated with looking at a rectangle I had previously coveted, you know. Like, knowing that it is mine, you know. There's an unexpectedly high number of Christians and people who offer, you know, spiritual guidance and leadership in this community who feel the same about these cardboard artifacts and yet don't appear to identify any contradiction in this in any of this. I mean, I don't mean to be nihilistic about it. I recognize that there's a lot of real joy to be experienced and shared in this game, but I also think it's fetishistic and bothersome that there's so much magic, you know, in this box, but only the highest level of it. only the most remarkable, efficient, powerful cards are interesting to anyone. And in fact, most of these cards will just be binned by most people who open these boxes, which make it even more of a weird pantomime. You know, if you could PayPal $200 somewhere and receive an envelope containing 12 random great rares, what were you going to get, right? Of course, nobody would do this, but that's, you know, that's effectively the result. So is there any point to this negative sort of ramble I'm having here? I think to some extent what I'm hoping you might think about when you open your box of Modern Masters is like just how much you feel about these cards, what you like about them, and which decks you're going to put them in, and not have these things be trophies and badges of your engagement with nerdism, so that you can, you know, be a better nerd. Like, there's no value in that. It's just private. It's just between you and the cards and what you want to do with them. Hi, thank you for watching that video all the way to the end. I really enjoyed making it, but I just don't know if anybody wants to see this kind of thing, and I don't want to just go straight into making another video to nobody. So if you would subscribe, if you liked it, don't subscribe if you do not like it, because I don't want to use that as a metric in deciding to make another video. So please only subscribe if you want to see me talking in a maybe slightly cynical but certainly loving way about gaming things, Magic things, video games, and board gaming stuff. Okay, peace. Cheers.